Okay, so we all spend ages revising for exams, right? But what if I told you the biggest secret to getting higher grades isn't just about what you know, but how you get marked? Well, today, we're going to crack the code on the examiner's rulebook. We're going to show you exactly how every single point is won or lost.
Think about it. You've just battled through a tough question, you've written down your answer, and you move on. But what's actually going through the examiner's head? Did you get marks for your method? Did that one tiny mistake just cost you the whole question? Well, that's exactly what we're about to find out.
All right, first up, the question on the page.
So to crack this thing, we need a real-world example. And here it is. This is question 5 from a GCSE higher-tier maths paper. It's a pretty standard question on quadratic graphs. You got 2 parts. First, fill in a table of values, and second, draw the graph. It looks simple enough, right? It's worth 4 marks in total. But the real question is, how are those 4 marks actually broken down?
Now you're probably thinking, easy. Get the table right, get the graph right, get 4 marks. But what if there's more to it? What happens if you make one tiny little calculation error in that table? Does that mean you automatically get 0 for the graph, even if you plotted your own wrong numbers perfectly? The answer might actually surprise you.
So, to get to the bottom of this, we have to look at a document that most students never even get to see, but every single examiner has to follow to the letter. It's basically their official playbook. And this is it, the official mark scheme. Now, this is not just a list of correct answers. No way. This is a super detailed, rule-by-rule guide that tells an examiner exactly when to give a mark and when to hold back. And here's the thing. They are not allowed to deviate from this. So if we can figure out how this document works, we can figure out the entire system.
And the key to the whole thing is realizing that the mark scheme is written in a kind of code. Seriously, it uses specific letters and abbreviations to describe how every single point should be awarded. And you know what? We're about to crack that code together.
All right, let's learn the language. There are really just 3 main types of marks you absolutely need to know about.
Okay, first up, we've got the B mark. The easiest way to remember this is B for by itself. This is an unconditional accuracy mark. You get this point just for having the correct piece of information written down. Simple as that, no working needed. Next, we have the M mark. M is for method. Now this one is huge. It's why teachers are always telling you to show your working. You get this for using a correct method even if you mess up the final answer. You could literally punch a wrong number into your calculator, get the answer wrong, but still walk away with M marks just for showing you knew what you were doing. And finally, there's the A mark. A is for accuracy. Now this is for the correct answer, but here's the catch. You can almost only get an A mark if you've already earned the method mark that goes with it. So, if your method is wrong, you're not getting that A mark, even if you somehow magically guess the right final answer.
Okay, that's enough theory. Let's put this into practice. We're going to apply this code directly to our question 5 and see exactly how those 4 marks are really won.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Here's the actual mark scheme for question 5. On the left, you've got part A, completing the table. Now look at the right. See in the mark column it says B2? That tells us there are 2 B marks, 2 accuracy marks up for grabs. But let's look at the guidance next to it to see how we actually get them.
And this is where it gets interesting, because it shows you how to get partial credit. The mark scheme says you get B2 for all 5 correct values. Okay, makes sense. 2 marks for a perfect table. But look at this. It also says B1 for at least 2 correct values. That is a massive safety net. It means even if you mess up a few, as long as you get just 2 of the values right, you've already guaranteed yourself 1 mark. Not bad.
And just for reference, here are the correct Y values for the table. 5, 0, -3, -4, -3, 0, and 5. The question already handed you the 0 and the -3, so you just needed to find the other 5. Get just 2 of those right, and you're already on the scoreboard.
Okay, now for part B, drawing the graph. Again, if you look at the mark scheme on the right, it says this is worth 2 B marks. But look really closely at the description. You see that little abbreviation, FT? This, right here, is one of the most important ideas in the entire marking system.
Let me introduce you to FT. It stands for follow through, and honestly, it is a total game changer. It's basically a lifeline. It means the examiner is literally instructed to mark your work based on your previous answers. So a mistake in Part A doesn't have to be a complete disaster for Part B.
So how does this work in practice? Well, for the graph, you get 1 mark, that's a B1 FT, for plotting at least 5 points correctly from your table. That FT is the signal for the follow-through. It means even if your table values are completely wrong, as long as you plot those wrong values accurately on the graph, you still get the mark. How good is that?
You see, this is actually really smart. It separates the two skills being tested. 1 mark is purely for your skill of plotting points, and it follows through from whatever you wrote in your table. The second mark, the full B2, is for the overall accuracy of the final correct curve. The whole system is designed to reward you for what you can do, even if you've made a mistake somewhere earlier. So, what does all this mean for you? It means the mark scheme isn't just some boring document for teachers. It's your new secret weapon.
Okay, let's break down the new game plan. First, always show you're working. It is your ticket to getting those absolutely crucial method marks. Second, remember you can get partial credit, like those B1 marks, so never ever leave a question totally blank. Third, remember that follow-through marks are your safety net. One mistake doesn't have to ruin the whole question. And finally, you've got to start looking at mark schemes when you revise. They literally show you exactly where the marks are hiding.
Look, understanding how you're marked, it changes everything. It turns taking an exam from just a frantic search for answers into a strategic game of collecting points. You're not just a student anymore, you're a tactician. So now that you know the rules, how are you going to play the game?